All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Wednesday. Hope you're all doing well. Wednesday, January the 12th, 2022. Appreciate you all tuning in, taking your questions, comments, calls here in the Daily Crow. Of course, as always, I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Again, appreciate it. We got a lot to dive into. I know today is going to be a very interesting show. Very interesting show. So I definitely want to hear from you. 843-790-3377. Great podcast, by the way, that dropped this morning as well. Go check that out. Also, for the Big Cock Club Discord, guys, over the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, to be sure your questions are answered. I see Travi, Jay Smith, Wesley Newmar, Will, Matt, Travi Ruel, Brandon Watts, Will, David Jones, Carolina Titan, Brian Lattimore. We already got a Frank Gotta Go from John Kruger. My guy, DGD. Congrats, DGD, on the national championship, by the way. Guys, again, a lot to get into. Before we do, I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a number, right? They're a small boutique law firm that treats the clients like family. Guys are going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. Like I mentioned, they handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. Been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is. The last thing that you should be dealing with and worrying about is dealing with paperwork, the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, guys, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today. In Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Dylan Sutter asked, any news on the new additional TSUS group? Dylan, no. This is going to be something I'm going to take my time with it. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, people just started sending in applications yesterday, and I will start going through those, honestly, probably this weekend. I'll go through those this weekend, but that's something I'm going to take my time with because I want to make sure when I add people, it's the right people, and it's not going to be people that, you know, we add on and then, you know, a month later we're having to chase down to write an article. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to take my time with it. When we add folks, you will know, but I would say a couple weeks. It'll be a couple weeks, you know, targeting the beginning of February before baseball season, but it's not something I'm going to rush, Dylan, not something I'm going to rush. Let's see here. Let's see. I mean, again, a lot of the conversation I know today, guys, again, I said on the podcast this morning, I said in the clip that I'll drop on social media, you know, today feels like a therapy. You know, we always joke therapy Monday, you know, when it comes to Gamecocks football. I mean, today feels like a therapy Wednesday. After that basketball game last night, if you even want to call it that. I tell you what, on both sides, by the way, on both sides, that was a pitiful display of basketball. That was pitiful. That was pitiful. And here's where I sit. Listen, I don't want to overreact to one game. I don't want to overreact to one game because, again, I'm seeing some fire Frank Martin posts. And I'll tell you this, that's totally fair. I will not chastise anyone who wants to say at this point, fire Frank Martin. Because there's enough evidence there, right? There's enough context there, enough evidence to back up that claim that Frank Martin should be fired. There is. And I tell you what, too, one of Frank's biggest problems is this. I'm not seeing near the support that he was getting a couple of years ago when, you know, if you said fire Frank Martin, I mean, you were just off your rocker. I feel like now, you know, I know there's still people that support Frank. Heck, I support Frank. But I think there's a lot more now of people that are open to the idea of somebody else taking over. Because, again, I said this last night, and I know I'm repeating myself, But here is Frank's, I think, his biggest problem, at least when it comes to me. I don't expect us on a year-in, year-out basis to be a great basketball team. I just don't. Right? No, nobody, I don't think Gamecock fans have these crazy, unrealistic expectations. Me personally, I'd like to make the tournament 3 out of 10 years. The other years have some good players, have a couple stars, have a star, be fun to watch. But be fun to watch is exactly what I just said. That's Frank's biggest problem. And again, I don't want to overreact to one game because last night was so ugly. I lived, I was able to take it on the chin when we lost to Auburn, right? Auburn's a top 5 team. I thought we played hard in that game. I thought we did some good things. Auburn was just really good. But it's games like last night, man, when I've told you guys, I don't even blame a Gamecock fan if they don't want to watch South Carolina basketball. I don't blame any South Carolina fan out there because, guys, I don't know how this will sound, but I'm just going to say it. If it weren't for TSUS, if it weren't for business, if it weren't for content, I can't sit here and say with a straight face that I would watch every single South Carolina basketball game. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I can't say that I would. Hey, football, of course, we go out of our way to tailgate, cover it, go to every single game. Baseball, I go to every single game and look forward to it. Man, basketball, like, if I missed a home game, it's like, I like going, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if, I hate to say that. I mean, if you want to say I'm a bad fan, I guess, so be it. But when it comes to basketball, especially basketball, we've talked about, though, when it comes to basketball and baseball, man, if you're not putting a product out there and if you're at least not entertaining, you're going to have a hard time drawing anybody to watch. I mean, guys, let's call a spade a spade. And this isn't taken away from them, but it's just acknowledging the reason. Actually, I'll get to this in a second.
P-Dog.
Here we go. P-Dog, what's going on, man? By the way, I don't know if you noticed, the hat I'm wearing actually was inspired by you because I saw your tweet like 2 days ago with the vintage Lou Holtz logo talking about putting it on a helmet. So I forgot I had this hat.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I love that logo, man. All right. Couple points I want to make about Frank Martin. We're in year 10. He has one serviceable big man on the roster, Levesque. And Levesque's not even good. Levesque's just average. Very average to below average on SEC standards. He goes and he retools the whole roster with transfers and nothing changes. It's the same thing every single year. I mean, he has the development of Cousinard, the development of Bryant has been non-existent. I remember Keyshawn as a freshman, and he has not taken one step forward. In fact, he might have taken a couple back. Same with Cousinard. Mm-hmm. And those are just inexcusable when you're in year 10 of a tenure. It's unexcusable. And you should have made the tournament in 16. So granted, he should have 2 tournament appearances. But in year 10, all of those things I listed are inexcusable. You have 3 guards, well, maybe 3.5, depending on the night, that are okay. Bryant is not good. Bryant is not developed. And you have one below average SEC big man on the roster. I just wanted to get your thoughts on those points off the air. I'll get off the line. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, P-Dog. Good stuff. No, he's right. He's right when it comes to the big men especially. I mean, look, I like Levesque too, and I think Levesque's played good basketball for you, but, man, beyond him, you got nothing. I mean, Levesque last night, guys, he had 0 points. 0. Literally 0 points. Yeah, Keyshawn hasn't really developed. I mean, it's just more of the same, man. Again, it's more of the same. I talked to somebody this morning about, they were very passionately Fire Frank last year, and of course we went through COVID. I was very much on record saying that, hey, I am whatever they want to do. Because here's the thing, guys. Doing what I do now, I look at things involving the Gamecocks from some different scopes. As a fan, I want to win. Oh, duh. Right? From the business side, I like to see things happen that are good for business. What's good for business? Winning. And things being interesting. So, selfishly, from the content creator side, I'm not sitting here saying Fire Frank, But from the content creator side, God, I wish we had an interesting product. Like, I wish we had an interesting product. I really do. I really do. You know, it just, man, like, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's, again, DGD makes the point. Winning's good for business. Indeed, but we're not even interesting. I mean, I like our guy Stevie a lot. I still, like, again, I'm not mailing it in on the season. You know, you come back and you beat Florida on Saturday, you sit at 2-2. Hey, things are kind of back on track. The goal of the season is to keep it at 500 or slightly above. Keep your head above water. Where things get real scary and the noise gets deafening is if you lose to Florida and then you lose to Arkansas. And then you start to get on this negative, you know, things start to snowball and you get to a point that you can't come back from. So how do you make Gamecocks basketball just interesting again? And again, I talked to somebody off the record who was fired Frank last year, and they said, you know, that type of play last night is why I was calling for Frank Martin's job at the end of last season. You know, just it's a sluggish, sloppy, boring, defensive, you know, the fact that, you know, people talked about last night going in that game, but the fact that this is the thought process behind Gamecocks basketball. Well, we gotta, you know, muddy the game up to have a good chance. The sloppier the game, the better. Bro, that sucks. That sucks, man. I don't want to have to win games sloppy. Like, I'd like to win games 87-84. I'd like to win games that way. That'd be fun to win games that way, you know? So, as I told you guys before, man, the reason I'm not – I saw some funny comments last night. Chris, remake the 2019 walking out of B of A when you said fire Muschamp, remake that and make it a fire Frank Martin video. You know, the reason I haven't done that is because I think this is something, again, I've told you guys, when that time comes, when it's evident and clear 110% without a shadow of a doubt we ain't making the tournament, when I feel a change, no doubt needs to be made, I'll say it. You know, the season's not over after one loss last night, but man, it's tough to watch. It's just really, really tough to watch. It's real. I mean, you score 46 points, bro. Like, the game damn near put me to sleep half the time. So, you know, we knew this team was going to be inconsistent. We knew this team was going to be up and down. You know, again, I'm at this point. I'm at this point with Gamecocks basketball. I will never stop watching and covering the men's team because when I first started TSUS and I first started doing this, I didn't believe in being a one-trick pony. I don't believe in just covering football. You know what I mean? Like, I like to be well-rounded, and I like all the Gamecock sports. But I believe in being well-rounded and covering, at minimum, the big three. And, of course, we've got women's basketball as well. So I don't believe in being a one-trick pony. But the point I'm at right now is this. Gamecocks basketball is not interesting. It's not even interesting. It's boring. It's boring. I'm bored. I'm bored with Carolina basketball. I mean, granted, I like Frank. I've met Frank. I like Frank. At least, though, if you get a new coach, at least there's interest. At least there's something new to talk about. That's why I made the point for the season. It is tournament or bust this year for Frank Martin, because if you don't make the tournament, guys, if you don't make the postseason and then you bring him back, how are you going to sell any tickets? You already can't put more than like 6,000 in 6,000 in CLA. How are you going to sell any tickets? Again, you have to provide a product in basketball. Call a spade a spade. The reason women's basketball has such high interest is because we win every freaking game. We're number one in the country. Gamecock fans will show up for a winner. It don't matter what it is. If we were number one in volleyball, softball, it don't matter. We will show up. We will show up for a winner. Men's basketball is just disinteresting. It's just not interesting anymore. It's the same old. And I don't say just make a change for the sake of change, but sometimes you got to get new blood. It's at some point you got to get new blood. And again, I don't want to overreact to last night in a game that I picked you to lose anyways. It's just really tough to stomach the way you lost. All right, let's jump to the phone lines.
From
46 points.
to accept, press.
Go ahead, Skyland. Knew this call was coming. I'll let you take the floor.
Oh, man. Well, I want to say Tennessee is a great team. I mean, that's not out like they're a bunch of bombs. But, I mean, 46 points is still unexcusable to me. Very unexcusable. I didn't watch the game. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what happened. I worked nights. I just saw the score. So, obviously, I ain't got much to say, but I just feel like a change is needed. I just feel like people that want to keep Frank Martin make more excuses for Frank Martin than anybody I've ever met. I don't feel like there's a case to keep Frank Martin. That's how I feel. People always want to say, well, he's the only coach in history that, make the Final Four, but he's done nothing off the Final Four, and he didn't recruit off of it. To me, basketball's changed, beat the dead horse. I'm going to say what I say. Need a fresh start. People think if you fire Frank Martin today, he will go out here and get a better job somewhere else at a better basketball program. But I don't think he will because of the style of play he uses. Obviously, he's living in the past, but as always, I'll let you take over. But I do have a question. Do you think there is a case, or could you make a case to keep Frank Martin if you was trying to keep Frank Martin?
I mean, I think, I think the only reason to keep Frank Martin would be he'd kind of sound like Will Muschamp and just citing, well, we've done this in 10 years and we've done this in our SEC record. We've done this. And it's a what have you done for me lately business, bro. You're getting paid millions of dollars, right? Just like every other coach on campus.
The program was not trending up.
Right,
the program was not trending up. I'm not going to say it's trending down.
Yeah, why?
I'm not going to say it's trending down either.
Yeah,
but
I would ask Frank, and I would ask all those involved with Gamecocks basketball, tell me why, if we hitch our wagon to you, why will the next decade be better than your first decade? Because, hey, again, you can say, well, we should have done this, should have done that. Here's how many we won. Here's SEC record. You made one tournament in 10 years. How is the next decade going to be better than the previous? How?
People think because I want Frank Martin fired, I expect us to make the tournament every year. And I don't. I honestly expect South Carolina to make the tournament every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. People, I don't know. I think a lot of people that don't want Frank, or again, I'm reserving judgment. I will call it when I need to call it. Okay, I'll pull the trigger when I need to pull the trigger. But people that don't want,
closer to?
I mean, I'm definitely closer to the make a change side because again, I'm just losing interest in the entire freaking program. I don't even like yesterday. I got to be honest. Yesterday, in the morning, when the line came out that we were 15.5-point underdogs, I mean, I wasn't even excited for the game. It's just like, well, we're going to get killed. I mean, I thought we were going to lose off the jump anyways, and then you see that line, and it's like, well, oh well. Oh well. Here's the thing. The worst case scenario is not being terrible. Let me say that again. The worst case scenario, the worst thing that can happen to a program is not being terrible. The worst thing that can happen is being a 500 program, which is kind of where we are right now. 2020 aside, honestly, we're sort of just floating in the middle. And that's where apathy creeps in because you're not good enough to win anything of significance, but you're not bad enough to necessarily stoke the fire to warrant a change. So you're just floating in mediocrity. That's what we're doing right now. We're floating in mediocrity, right? Like an NFL team, right? Like the worst thing they can do is go 500 every year because you're not getting the number one pick, but you're also not going to the playoffs. So what are you doing? You know what I mean? Again, Frank's biggest problem is not losing games. Frank's biggest problem is that people don't give a shit anymore. They just don't. We don't give a shit. It's boring. Yes, it's boring.
It is boring. The whole big man at the top of the key, like, that's not basketball no more. Basketball these days is run and gun. And that's why I think him and Trey Hannibal butted heads a lot, because Trey Hannibal liked to run and gun. And that's why I feel like him and some of these players that transferred out but heads were Frank.
Yeah.
Like some dumb decisions I don't agree with. Like, I'm sure you heard this. He took Sevens Woods, a one-year starter, over a five-star freshman or a senior in high school that wanted to come to South Carolina. Miles Tate at Dorman was a number one player in the state. He was a five-star point guard. He wanted to come to South Carolina, but Frank told him no, that he would rather go with Sevens Woods, a one-year starter. And now you see how that worked out for you.
Yeah. And again, I don't view this as like a Muschamp situation where, you know, it was, I mean, I don't think anybody, you know, nobody has warm and fuzzy feelings to Will Muschamp right now. I mean, I certainly don't. You certainly don't.
No.
Nobody wants, like, nobody's like eager to kick Frank Martin out of town, but it just gets to a point where it's like, hey, man, it's run its course. It has run its course. It just has. Like, we wish you well, but we got to do what's best for us. It sort of feels like it's getting closer to that point where it's like it has run its course. The Final Four feels like it was eons ago. Eons ago. So.
And you can't even recruit off of that no more. And he did nothing on recruiting with that. Let me ask you, I got two questions for you.
Yeah.
The first question is, the loser mentality. With fans that want to keep Frank because they think this is the best South Carolina can do, I feel like that's a loser mentality. I absolutely do. I feel like if you're going to lose, with South Carolina basketball has never been good, and will it ever be good? Who knows? But if you're going to lose, can we just lose being competitive, or can we lose having fun? Why do we have to lose of getting our brains beaten or running that slow, boring offense? Why? If we're going to lose, at least make it fun. Just like in football, I always say, if we're going to lose a football, let's score points at least. Let's lose 44, 46 in football. Why can't we lose 88 to 86, 88 to 80? Make it fun. And another thing is last question before I hang up and listen to you on the internet is, why do people give men's basketball as Frank Martin such a big pass, and if Shane Beamer or Mark Keeson and even Will Muschamp, if they don't make the postseason twice, or if Shane Beamer loses the next two seasons, he's out of South Carolina in 3 years. Why does Frank Martin get a 10-year pass? And other coaches will be out the door in 3 years if they didn't win. And that's it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. I agree.
That really was a question to you.
Oh, it was a question. No, I mean, I think too. I think one of the reasons people, reasons people would want to keep Frank. Number one, I think they still revere the Final Four. Some fans would still say that's their greatest favorite memory in Gamecocks fandom history was the run to the Final Four. I think also people just naturally, no matter whether it's sports, life, whatever, doesn't matter what it is, people fear change. They fear change. People are scared. Some people are scared of change. A lot of people are scared of change. People fear change, and who are we gonna get? Who would want to come here? And I mean that happened with football. That happened with football. College. People didn't want to move on from Muschamp because that same exact thing. People didn't want to move on from Muschamp until it was so painfully obvious that we were headed down the crapper. It took. I mean, I had people tell me, man, I was still Team Muschamp until we lost to A&M in 2020, 48-3. I'm like, it took you that long? Like, what were you doing? So, you know,
He
I'm
scored 46 points. That's a high school scoring on this game.
right.
46 points.
Yeah. So
That's a point per minute, really. It's 40 minutes of basketball. You score 46 points.
and I mean, again, I just my only thought after the game last night was thank God we're going to start talking baseball next week because I just if I had to do a month and a half plus of just solely basketball talk, it'd be tough. Be pretty tough. Not going to lie to you.
And the thing is, you're gonna get your ass rolled this Saturday at home at 1 o'clock.
Well, I'll be there in person to witness it, I guess. So
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get beat. What loss on this schedule is going to make you want to say Frank needs to be gone?
I don't know, man. I'm taking it game by game. I think Florida's a very important game. I think I hate to say, it's a must win again, but I think you got to have it, bro. Florida's been struggling
also,
too, and then you got to go to Arkansas next week, and then you got back-to-back home games against Georgia, Vandy, and I don't know, man. I mean,
you should beat Georgia. You should beat Georgia.
Right. Georgia at home, I think you should beat them. Yeah. I mean, that's why, again, man, I think because I just – here's the thing. There's a lot of season left, so I'm not ready to lead the charge, the hashtag fire Frank Martin charge. But, I mean, certainly, man, I think we all understand which way the season's trending. And I predicted before the season. I actually picked South Carolina to go 6-12 in conference play. So – I think we're better than I think we're better than that. I think we're better than that, to be honest with you. We're better than I expected us to be, which is maybe sounds crazy. But we're good. We're on pace to have that typical Frank Martin year. You know what I mean? We're on pace to have that typical just sort of 500, just not going through the motions, but just sort of just being there. Again, not being bad enough to warrant change and not being good enough to win anything of significance. So, I mean, that's sort of where we're headed.
Like the same movie.
I'd rather, dude, if we're not going to make the tournament, I'd rather just be terrible. I know people might scoff at that. If we're not going to make – right now, there's no difference in having Frank Martin and Darren Horn as your coach because guess what? The end result's the same either way. So who gives a shit? The only difference between Darren Horn and Frank Martin is a Final Four. That's the only difference.
And to be honest,
I know Frank's won more games. I'm not saying Darren Horn's as good a coach as Frank Martin, but if you really, because again, at the end of the day, and I feel for Frank in this regard, but at the end of the day, all we care about is the tournament. That's all people care about is making the NCAA tournament. So if you're not doing that, all that other fluff, all those other numbers, they don't mean jack shit to anybody. Certainly to me. Like the whole point of college basketball is March Madness. It's the whole point. That's the whole point.
You get paid by making content. I get paid by a warehouse unloading and receiving trucks. Some people get paid by cooking food. Some people get paid by making business decisions. Frank Martin gets paid by winning games. He just doesn't do enough of that to get paid.
Well, I mean, and again, like our history's so bad where he's right. This has been the winningest decade, I believe, in school history. Over the last 4 or 5 years, we're top half of the SEC in record. And again, that's all great.
But this is how far he's going to get you. This is how far he's going to get you. And you need to make a change so someone can take you to the next step. Because this is it right here. I think this is the top for Frank Martin. He's done a wonderful job. He's won some games. He is the winningest basketball coach. He's done a good job.
Right. And listen, I'm taking nothing away from what those guys did in 2017. I'm taking nothing away, but outside of a 3-week hot streak in March and April of 2017, we haven't done anything. And if that wouldn't have happened, if we wouldn't have got hot at the right time, I don't think Frank Martin's the coach right now, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
That was just luck.
Yeah.
Look, Frank's done a good job. Frank, I applaud Frank. He's done great things for this university in the basketball career. I'm not going to act like Frank's just god awful bum because he's not. Frank's a damn good coach, a damn good leader, but this is just where it ends for him. I think this is all he can do. This is how far he can take you. This is as far he can get you. And let's just go hire somebody to take us to the next step. That's all. He did a wonderful job. I respect the man.
Yeah, again,
not a bad coach.
listen. I'm gonna get you off the line because we got a lot of calls coming in, but it'll play itself out. It'll play itself out again. If you miss the tournament, it's obvious what's got to happen. That's I'll leave it at that.
Next week, baseball practice starts.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to get out to Founders and go out to some scrimmages and stuff like that. So
I will be down there the first Saturday of scrimmage, so we can link up.
yeah, no, let's do it, man, for sure.
All right, later.
All right, man, later. Guys, is that too bold to say? Is that too bold to say that the only difference between Darren Horn and Frank Martin's a Final Four? The only difference between Darren Horn and Frank Martin's a Final Four. Because at the end of the season, if you're not going to postseason play, it don't matter if you won 19 games or 9 games. The end result's still the same. The end result's still the same. So, again, I'm not sitting here on this Wednesday, January the 12th, saying and leading the show with fire Frank Martin. I promise you guys, when the time comes, when I am done, you will know. When I am done, you will know. Okay? When I am done, you will know. 3 games in an SEC play. Hey, I'm here's the thing. I'm holding back because, and I mean, it's no secret where I sit. I'm much closer to thinking, hey, maybe we need to go a new direction. But if on a positive, let me spin things on a positive note, inject some positivity. If you go out there Saturday and you beat Florida on your home floor, maybe you look good doing so. I mean, all of a sudden, you're back to 500, which is just sort of where I think you're going to float anyways. Now, you go lose to Florida, and then you can lose to Arkansas, and all of a sudden you're 1-4. Well, then things are going to start to get very dicey, right? They're going to get very dicey. So, I mean, I hate to say, it's a must win. Like, you got to, but man, you got to protect the home floor on Saturday because the chatter's only going to get louder. The chatter's only going to get louder. Yeah, I saw that Joe Bowen done with the pro. I don't know where he's going or what he's doing, so best of luck to him. Let's see. Let me get back to your questions here. Phil says, daily weather Fort New Hampshire, 27 degrees and partly cloudy. Yeah, it's cold here too, Phil, and I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it at all. Tommy Wallace says the continual amount of unforced turnovers are a staple of Frank's teams. His teams obviously are coached to play good defense, but you have to play good offense also to have a chance to win. Last night's Backstreet Brawl is so hard to watch. No entertainment value at all in watching. Has caused people to lose all interest. Yeah, I mean, again, I'll tell you this, Tommy. And by the way, I want to make this point to Tim Dorn and some others. Like, when I said that if you're not watching the games, I'm not saying you're a bad fan. I'm saying that I don't want people to think I'm a bad fan. And I don't think you're a bad fan for wanting to be entertained, right? I don't think you're a bad fan for, at the end of the day, sports are a product. And if the product sucks and the product's not entertaining, nobody's holding a gun to your head. You're not obligated to watch every game. You're not. So, I know there's some diehards out there like yours truly. A lot of us in here that we're going to watch every game no matter what, right? We're going to watch every game no matter what. And especially with me, hey, I'm making content around it for better or for worse. Man, I stuck it out through last year, so nothing can be worse than that. But for the normal everyday fan, I got a ton of buddies that just tell me, like, Chris, I can't get into Gamecocks basketball, man. They're like, I'd rather watch a spring practice. I get it. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Herbstreit.
to accept.
Robbie, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. I agree with you that the only difference between Darren Horn and Frank Martin is the Final Four. I agree with you 1,000%. Just want to throw that out there. And last night, we looked like a team that was confused on both sides of the ball. They literally looked like deers in headlights. Is that a fair assumption?
If you want to put it that way, I mean, that's fair. We just looked bad. I mean, 23 turnovers. You know what I mean? That says it all. So
And
whether it was
I've-
deer in
I've-
headlights or just bad execution or
And I've said
Yeah.
it. I've said it all year. All year. You play like that, you will lose 99% of the time.
yeah.
And
Yeah, you go shoot 35% from the field and have 23 turnovers, you're going to lose a lot more than you win. We'll put it that way.
exactly. And I'm to the point now that I know I've said I think Frank Martin is a great coach, which he is. Don't get me wrong. He's a great coach. But I'm to the point now that if he is here next season and I was Ray Tanner, I would tell him flat out, it's either NCAA tournament or bust, or you're done. We'll go another direction and find somebody else. Because like me and you both have said, if this is a results-oriented business, and if you ain't getting the job done, you're most likely going to get a pink slip and get fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I said NCAA
And-
tournament or bust going into this season. So let me ask you
Right.
this. Let me
I
ask
think
you
you
this,
can
Robbie.
say
Let me ask you this. You're as diehard a Gamecock as any. Let's say South Carolina doesn't make the tournament this year, which looks very realistic and it might happen, feels like it's on pace to happen. Let's say they don't make the tournament, whatever. Give me one reason, or just give me your reasons. Why would you be excited about South Carolina basketball next year? I mean, what would be your source of hope and optimism for the following season under Frank Martin?
Mainly because I just love basketball as a whole. Outside of football, it is one of the most team-oriented sports out there. Does that make sense?
I mean, I get that you love the game of basketball. I get that. I'm just saying specifically for the South Carolina Gamecocks basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you're one of the folks that I mentioned that it's great too. Like, we're the diehards. We're gonna watch and show up no matter what. But when it
I'm
comes
watch
to
regardless.
when
I'll
it-
show up. I'll
right.
watch. I don't care.
right, but when it comes to, the normal, the I don't know how to say it. Just the day-to-day fan, you got to put a product out there, like a winning product or an interesting product. God
I
forbid.
agree with you on that. When it comes to the occasional fan, you got to have a product, or the people are not going to buy tickets. Okay, they're not going to, and that's for any sport: football, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter. If the product isn't good, they're not going to show up. Like in the movie Field of Dreams, like I said, if you build it, they will come. Nothing. That's my brother in the background. He's being nosy. Like if obviously we had a good run in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever the season started in 2017, which was the year we went to the Final Four, I literally had a feeling in my gut that this could be the year that we make the NCAA tournament, and lo and behold, we did not only make the NCAA tournament, but we made it to the Final Four.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, I said, if he can somehow talk the underclassmen into staying and then build around them, we could wind up making the NCAA tournament the following season. And that did not happen, but if the product, like I said, if the product is no good, no one's going to show up. Like if the product on the baseball field this season is no good, people aren't going to show up. But we're so used to having a great baseball team that they're not concerned about that. But I know in the back of my mind that there's times where in any sport where you're going to have bad seasons or off years. Same with professional sports, college sports, high school sports. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. It does. It does. It absolutely does. Again, bottom line is this, man. You're not good enough for anybody to give a damn. That's your biggest problem. Your problem isn't that you're losing games. Your problem isn't your record. Your problem isn't the tournament. Your problem is you're just not good enough. South Carolina fans are just past the point of, hey, man, what you doing this weekend? Well, man, Carolina basketball plays on Saturday. We got to set aside time to go watch the game. Bro, nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Nobody gives a damn.
Right.
It's not, you just, you know what people think? They say, what you doing this weekend? Well, Carolina, somebody says, what are you doing this weekend? Yeah, Carolina basketball plays. You going to watch? Like, hell no, I'm not going to watch them. They're terrible. That's what people say.
Right.
So you're at that point. How do you get people excited again? That's the biggest question. That's your biggest problem.
I think we just need to just
Here's some hard numbers for you, by the way. Since the Final Four,
okay, go ahead.
We want to talk stats. Since the Final Four, you have a 67-63 overall record. You are 33-38 in conference play. Again, we are just getting started in this year, but those are the numbers. 67-63. You are 33-38 in SEC play. So we're in the fifth season following. We're in the fifth season following the Final Four. Those are your numbers since the Final Four. Those are stats right now. Yes, I just did the math as you were talking. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So
I feel like if I'm not saying it's going to happen, which it probably would, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. But say Frank Martin, after this year, gets the boot, right? How would you go about getting a new coach?
How would you go about getting a new coach?
Know what I mean?
Well, you would go through the hiring process just like you do any other hiring process. I mean, I don't think it's rocket science. I mean, I think
I don't think it is either.
There are certain things you look for in regards to almost kind of like what you did with football, like a young, fiery, energetic guy who's want to go bust his ass recruiting, offensive-minded. I think those are the things you start to look for. But again, you don't just not change the sake. Again, I'm not sitting here today calling for Frank Martin's head. His job, it's still early in SEC play. We could turn it around. Who knows? But he ain't going to be the coach forever. I mean, I can tell you that he's not going to be the coach forever. He will not be the coach forever.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't dislike Frank Martin. I'll say the same thing I said about Muschamp. I don't dislike Frank Martin. I just like winning. Winning is fun. Confirmed per sources, winning is fun.
Yeah,
it is.
Winning is fun.
Having an interesting product on the floor is fun.
Sucks.
There's nothing worse, Robbie. You love basketball. That's all great. I'm going to give you the God's honest truth. There's nothing worse than watching bad basketball. It's like watching paint dry. I would have rather been doing anything else last night than watching that game. Anything. Literally anything. That was miserable. Like, I could have gone out last night. I could have hung out with buddies. I could have done – no, I was stuck at the crib watching that piece of shit game. I would have done anything.
Yeah.
Watching good basketball is a blast. But watching bad basketball, for the love of God, is terrible.
Watching a sporting event to where, like, you got a chance to win is fun. And
confirmed. Winning is fun. Confirmed.
Which year was it? Was it 2018 whenever Couisnard? No, was it 2020 whenever Couisnard made that half-court buzzer beater. Right?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Was I expecting us to beat Florida that day? No, I was not. Or Kentucky that day? No, I was not. Because I truly felt like Kentucky was much better than us. They had better size than us. but we were like that annoying gnat in the face of Kentucky that just wouldn't go away. And then lo and behold, Couisnard makes that half-court buzzer beater, and we beat Kentucky. If they somehow start playing like that the remainder of the season, I could be happy with no matter how the outcome is for the rest of the season. Like, if I was a basketball coach at a high school or a junior college or what have you, I would literally tell my team this. I said, I don't care how many points you score, but I want you to play such great defense that I want to know what kind of dadgum gum that the person you're guarding is chewing. I want to know what they had for lunch. I want to know what his GPA is. I want you to get in his head and irritate the mess out of him. Does that make sense?
Indeed. No, indeed. We'll just hire you as the next head coach. We'll hire you. I think that makes sense.
I would do it because I want to be a basketball coach, to be honest with you. But
For sure. Well,
the next time that they play, will I watch the game? Most likely, yes, I will. I just think that and part of me kind of feels like the way his offense is, like it's just handing the ball off and setting screens. I'm like, dude, you got to do more than just set screens and just basically hand the ball off. You got to you got to have like other stuff. I feel like teams know the offensive tendency of South Carolina, like other teams know the offensive tendency of South Carolina to the point now to where they're not trying as hard.
Yeah. Either way, whatever. Hey, I'll tell you this: whatever we're doing offensively, it didn't work and it hadn't worked for a while. So we got to get it fixed, get it worked out. Hey, we're going to watch either way. You got a chance to bounce back Saturday. We'll see if it happens. But either way, it's with every game, with every loss, the chatter gets louder. And again, it's still early. You're only 3 games in. You can bounce back, but Saturday's a big one. Robbie, we're going to jump into a break, man. I appreciate the call as always. Thank you so much, my friend. 843-790-3377. I love Robbie calling in, and I would tell Robbie this too. 10 minutes. We're going to limit it to 10 minutes because I know people want to rock and roll, get it going. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That was a good conversation, but 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Anyways, 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. And I had a buddy put it this way last year before we go into the break as Phil throws tomatoes in the chat. As Phil throws tomatoes in the chat. Who is Alicia Marshall comment? We got apparently A-Rod has got a challenger or a doppelganger, if you will. There's an Alyssa and there's an Alicia. So I don't know. Somebody trying to catch hands in the chat. Courtney Washington, this team's struggling. We better play from our bigs and veteran guards. Courtney, maybe you should be the coach of the team because you say that nobody knows basketball, and I feel like you're like the basketball guru, if you will. Keith says, do you think Martin's going to be 500 or better in the SEC? I mean, Keith, I picked 6-12 in the preseason. I think you'll be better than that. But if I had to go on record and pick one or the other, I'd say no. I think it's more likely things spin out of control and this team falls short of expectations than goes on some hot run and finishes, 10-6 in conference play, right? Or excuse me, not 10-6, 9-7 in conference play. 9-7 in conference play. So we'll see. But I think, again, that's going to be sort of where you are all year is just trying to keep your head above water. Just staying at that 500 mark. Okay. Alicia Marshall. This is Nick Marshall, logged in his wife's YouTube account. Okay. All right. False alarm. Anyways, guys, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. I do want to continue to hear from you. We can talk South Carolina basketball. We can talk, transfer portal. I actually dove into today the portal and the new pickups for Shane Beamer. Obviously, really good stuff. The momentum he has on the recruiting trail with the portal. These playmakers we're adding, it's incredible. Also, of course, guys, don't forget tonight at Tin Roof, we are live 5 to 7, taking your questions there, kicking it, having a good time, drinking some cold beers, eating some good food. You guys know the drill. 5 to 7 in the Vista. Look forward to seeing you there, guys. We're going to jump into this break. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more. The other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Appreciate you all tuning in again, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls. I want to continue to hear from you guys. Again, we're talking, obviously, I feel like Frank Martin is the main topic of discussion today. And I was going to say, you guys ever seen those posts, by the way? You guys ever seen those posts where it's the person sitting at the table, right? And it says, change my mind. I think I'm going to make one of those today. I'm going to make one of those with the guy sitting at the table, and I'm going to put my face over it, and it's going to say, change my mind. Frank Martin is just Darren Horn with a Final Four appearance. Boy, that'll get social media going, won't it? That'll get social media going. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't know, man. Again, like I said, I don't dislike Frank Martin. It's just like football, guys. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care. We all just want to have fun watching our team play. And again, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to overreact to I don't want to overreact to a loss in a game where you were a 15.5-point underdog anyways, right? You were a 15.5-point underdog. So, I mean, you were expected to lose. I mean, I picked you to lose. I thought you were going to lose, right? I thought you were going to lose. But, man, like, just the way you lost, the way you're losing games. I mean, again, guys, I've been on the fire the coach thing. I've been on the fire the coach thing, okay? Obviously, we all know my past and my history and the fire Muschamp stuff. We get it. I've been on the fire coach thing. So I understand what comes with that. And so that's why I haven't, I am waiting until, when I feel the need to pull the trigger, I will. Trust me. I will. But at the end of the day, again, we all want the same thing, man. We all want just a fun product. Like, I'm tired of feeling like men's basketball is like the redheaded stepchild. Phil talked about earlier the ultimate sin, people who are Gamecock fans but pull for Duke. And I don't disagree with you. But damn, I'd imagine it's a lot more fun watching Duke play than us. You know what I mean? I'd have to imagine it is a ton more fun to watch them play than watching us play. So, anyways, I do want to hear from you guys. Again, phone lines are open. You can text that number as well. Also in the Big Cock Club Discord. Keith says, is it time, or do you think Frank Martin still has it? Here's what I'll say, Keith. Am I going right now on record and saying, hey, looking at you in the face, looking at the camera, fire Frank Martin? I'm not doing that as of yet. I'm not, I'm not printing T-shirts and printing merch with fire Frank Martin on it. But do I ever see South Carolina getting back to the Final Four under Frank Martin? No, I don't. Do I see Frank Martin being our head coach 5 years from now? No, I don't. No, I don't. I think it's if I'm leaning one side or the other, is it more likely? Because I think there's reasons to justify keeping Frank. I do. But there's also plenty of context and reasoning to move a different direction. The program, again, the biggest problem, the program has become stale. The program is stale. And I like this team this year. I actually really do. I like this team. I like the shooters on this team. Obviously, our guy, Stevie. There's players I like on this team. I like this team more than last year's team or even 2 years ago. I like this squad. But it's stale. The program is stale. As a whole, the program is stale. And it especially is gut-wrenching when you see what Dawn's doing, and the way that the level they're winning at, it's just like, man, why can't men's even be halfway competent? You know? So it's just tough to stomach. It's tough to watch. And, you know, Keith makes the point in the Big Cock Club Discord. I like his style of coaching, or I think his style of coaching is past. You can't berate today's players. You know, I know some people look at how Shane Beamer is, right? Some people look at Shane Beamer, and there's some out there that maybe think, you know, some of what he does and says, it's a little corny sometimes, and it's, you know, it's all this feel-good stuff. But guys, it's 2022. That's just what you have to do. You can be Frank Martin and go out there and say, you know, it's not the kid's fault, it's our fault, and players are soft and this, that, whatever. You can think whatever you want, but if you can't coach today's players, you can't win.
Will from Dirty Myrtle.
All right, let's dive into it.
Tick.
Will, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you asking. What's up?
Just calling to give my opinion on the Gamecock basketball forefront. I feel like Frank Martin in his press conferences are always giving reasons why they're doing good or why this happened, and never taking ownership. I feel like there's always a defense mechanism when he's talking to the media, instead of him just saying, hey, we didn't get it done. I didn't coach a good game. We don't have the personnel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it always seems like there's a reason, or we did this well in this, like you said, the way he restates the numbers to make it look good in his favor. Bottom line is, we've been to the tournament once since 2004. Am I wrong?
You are not.
Since the 04 tournament we lost to Memphis, we've been to the tournament once. And I'm a diehard basketball fan, bro. Like, it hurts me. But I've lost interest. I mean, there's not a whole lot to be happy about year to year. No optimism, you know? And I just don't feel like Frank Martin, when I'm watching him when he's talking, he's not giving me what I want to hear. He's telling me, basically, we're good. We're okay. We're going to be okay, but I know we're not. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you 110%. I agree with you 110%. It's just, you know, again, apathy is beginning to really creep in and really set in, and because again, it just gets old. You know, it just gets old. You know, I understand, like, Frank Martin has, you know, he's going to be, Frank Martin's going to be Frank Martin. I don't see Frank Martin, a guy like Nick Saban, who's going to reinvent himself and evolve. Frank Martin is who he is, which is totally fine. But is that good enough to advance your program and get back to a tournament? And I just don't know that it is, man. I don't know. Like, again, I'm not for changing things for the sake of changing them. I'm not for that.
Right.
But, man, like, people literally do not care anymore. Fans don't care anymore.
They really don't.
You know what I mean? Like, at least people are saying, well, who are you going to hire and what's going to happen? Again, my buddy phrased it beautifully last year. He said, Chris, do you like the way you feel right now with the honeymoon phase of South Carolina football with Shane Beamer? I said, absolutely I do. Absolutely I do. He's like, you can have that in basketball, but you got to go get rid of Frank Martin and get somebody else. You have to. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, South Carolina has had some really good talent the last 4 seasons since the, 17 season. There's been a lot of guys come out of South Carolina, and we haven't got any of them.
Yeah.
So it's like nobody wants to come play for that style of basketball right now. And he coaches kids hard. And I think it's borderline too hard.
Mm.
I don't know. I know I go to the games, and if you sit too close with your child, not saying I drop a lot of forwards, but that dude cusses the whole damn game. You know what I mean? And it's a hard style to watch.
Yeah, the antics become hard to stomach when you're not winning. Bottom line, like early in the season.
Yeah.
Early in the season, I was at games and we were winning. We were winning those non-conference games, whatever. It's like, I noticed. I was like, the antics are actually a lot more like they're fun when we're winning. It's like they're funny, they're entertaining. Right. Not so much when you're not winning. Put it that way.
You remember the clip? I can't remember what kid it was where he like pushed the kid. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah,
or
no,
something like that?
I remember that very vividly. Remember that very
remember that?
vividly.
And-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was at the Stony Brook game last year. Was it not last year? Excuse me. Was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. We lost like the Stony Brook in the beginning of the season. I drove from Myrtle Beach to go see that game, and I was just like, this is Frank Martin, man. He loses to a couple terrible teams early in the season every year that he shouldn't lose to. You know what I mean? And then comes out and gives reasons why it's not a big deal. You know, I don't know. But yeah, I'm growing tired of it, man. I love basketball, and it's kind of made me lose my passion. There's not a whole lot to be passionate about.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'll hop off there, brother. I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, Will. Always great stuff. 843-790-3377. Yeah, spirit's just a little broken. You know what I mean? Oh, no, our basketball team, it's broken. Spirit's broken, man. It just kind of reminds me of the end of the Muschamp era where you got to game day wasn't fun anymore. Really? I mean, it wasn't really. Not really, you know. I mean, I'll be excited to go to the game Saturday. I will. Also because the football team's being honored at halftime. But I'll be excited to go. And Courtney, I appreciate you injecting all positivity left into every bone of your body. I appreciate it. And listen, Courtney, I'm not mailing it in. I'm not saying the season's over. I'm not saying that. But I won't berate those who feel that way. Because last night was pitiful. Terrible. Again, there are reasons to justify that Frank Martin should come back and just, I mean, again, if Frank Martin is immune from criticism, if Frank Martin is immune from, you know, just give him a lifetime contract. Just get it over with. But Gamecocks basketball is exhausting. That's a good way to put it, too. It's exhausting. So, Georgia just picked up another tight end commitment. I mean, what in the world's going on? By the way, guys, quick reminder. Be sure to sign up for the Big Cock Club today, patreon.com/Big Cock Club, or just go to any of our links in bio in our social media channels. And you can sign up there. We got some huge interviews upcoming. Tori Gurley, former Gamecocks wide receiver, and Parker White, your all-time points leader. And that Parker White conversation, that Parker White interview will drop tomorrow. So, again, really excited, guys. A fantastic convo. One that I'm really, really pumped for you guys to hear. Going to be really good stuff. Again, though, man, we don't have to talk basketball. We can talk football if you like. I'm really excited about these transfer portal guys. I got a clip coming a little bit later today on social media about that. Also, guys, tomorrow's podcast, I was sitting there thinking this morning, right? Because I was like, what is there to talk about? What do we want to talk about for Thursday's show? Very excited for the podcast tomorrow now. I'm actually going to be, and this is way too early, of course, like everything else, but I figure why not, ranking the Gamecocks 2022 opponents by easiest to most difficult game in the 2022 football season. So, really, really fun show upcoming for you guys tomorrow. And guys, like I said, tonight at Tin Roof, we're out there. Yours truly, I think I'm going to be back at the women's basketball game tomorrow night. I got invited yet again, so I think I'm going to go. We'll be in the building Saturday for the Florida game. Going to be a lot of fun. So, got an exciting next couple days upcoming. Also, meeting up with the Carolina Ale House folks on Friday to solidify everything with our watch parties and stuff like that. Going to be a really good time. Really looking forward to it. Let's see. Leonard Matthews, Spencer Rattler got at least 3 years of eligibility left. He does, but Leonard, I think he's going to be here 1 year. And honestly, I hope that's the case because you know what that means? He balled out, had a successful season, and he's headed to the NFL, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. People ask me, what's a successful season for Spencer Rattler? Him getting drafted is very successful. It's great for him. It's great for us. Yeah. So I think he'll be 1 year and done. And I think, again, that's a positive. That's not a negative at all. Let's see. Where'd this go? Where'd this comment go? Carolina Titans says, hearing rumors that Travian Robertson may be the replacement on the defensive line. I'd love to see that, man. I had Travian on the show. Awesome dude. He's been doing a fantastic job. I think he's been, at Georgia State? Would love to get him on staff. Would love to get him on staff. Austin Greer says, why are Courtney and P-Dawg beefing? I don't know, my guy. Courtney and P-Dawg are going ham in the comments right now. Going ham. Again, this is where I sit. In case you missed it, you're just tuning in. Oh, my God, is Chris saying fire Frank Martin? Here he goes again. Here's where I sit right now. I expected you to lose last night. 15.5-point underdogs. Picked you to lose by 10. What happened losing last night wasn't shocking. But it's just the entertainment value side of things. And again, thinking about things bigger picture, longer term. Is Frank Martin still the answer for Gamecocks basketball? That's the question. Is Frank Martin still the answer? I think there are reasons to say yes. I think there are plenty of reasons to say no. And I think fans have become weary of it. If you were critical of Frank Martin 3 years ago, and I was at times, fans would jump down your throat. I had it happen to me plenty of times. But it's gotten to a point now, I think even the most avid Martin supporters are starting to say, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we could use a fresh start. Maybe we could use a change. Maybe. And I will say this to the conversation back and forth with Courtney, P-Dawg, Phil, others in the comments, because I see Courtney is dying on the ledge of, well, if you didn't play and you're not a professional at it, I'm not going to listen to what you say. That's Courtney, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't play basketball at the collegiate level. I don't pretend like I'm the basketball guru, the basketball savant. But I know what a good product and a bad product looks like. I know what an entertaining product and a boring product looks like. And again, if you want to not even talk X's and O's, you don't even want to talk the game on the floor itself. Frank Martin's biggest issue is this shit is boring. And it's the same thing year after year after year after year. I know what a boring product looks like. Hey, it's just like content. It's just like content. The worst thing you can be as a content creator is not too bold or too over the top or too cutting edge. The worst thing you can be is boring. The worst thing you can be is boring. So I may not be a basketball expert. I didn't play it at the collegiate level, didn't play it at the professional level. I won't sit here and pretend to be that either. But I know what it means and what it feels like to be disinterested, to be worn out and just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I know what that feels like. So we don't have to talk X's and O's, Courtney. And Tyrell Campbell Sr. says, just got to let the season play out. They're super young. I know he's got a short leash, but he's working through some growing pains. Tyrell, we've been working through growing pains for 5 years. And you say we're young. I mean, Jacoby Wright and Devin Carter are, but this ain't Eric Stevenson's first rodeo. This ain't James Reese's first rodeo. This ain't Chico Carter Jr.'s first rodeo. This isn't Wildens Levesque, Jermaine Kusnar, Keyshawn Bryant. That's not their first rodeo. So how young are we really? We're still gelling, I guess you could say. But even to that note, guys, we're 15 games in. It's in the first week of the season. So, like the 23 turnovers last night, do I think we're that bad? No, I don't think we're that bad. But we sort of are what we are. Now, with that being said, guys, again, this is a Frank Martin basketball team. This is a Frank Martin season. So, I can tell you this. I do think we're going to have an upset or two along the way. I do. Because that's what Frank Martin teams do. We're going to have an upset along the way. Okay? But we're probably, again, going to have some really bad losses. I mean, you think about it this way, guys. You can look at it right now, glass half full, glass half empty. You could say, well, we played a terrible game last night, but we're better than that. That's not who we are. And we lost to an Auburn team. Granted, we lost by 15 points, but they're in the top 5. And we had a really gutsy one on the road in Nashville. Get Florida at home Saturday. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. And that's a fair outlook. That's a great outlook. That's a healthy outlook. Here's the other side of that coin, though. We're 2 points away. We're 3 points away from being 0-3 in SEC play. So we're very close to being in a bad spot. I'm in danger. Like we're very close to that. 843-790-3377. Some guys going to jump into a quick break. Want to hear from you, your thoughts, Frank Martin, Gamecocks football, whatever you want to talk about. Want to continue to take your calls. 843-790-3377. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side of the break. Guys, you're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you here on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Hope you're having a fantastic day and a great week as well, by the way. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Aaron Thompson asks, which break is this? Aaron, in case you guys haven't picked up on it, normally I go, I like to take breaks. I'm pretty good for the first 40, 45 minutes or so in the first hour. I'd like to take a break there. And I like to take breaks just depending on how things are flowing. I like to take 2 breaks in the second hour, one around 1:15 or so, and then one around 1:40 or 1:45. So, I think that's fair. I mean, I think 3 breaks in a 2-hour show is not bad, right? So, anyways, this is the first of the 2 breaks in the second hour. But again, they're subject, kind of just depends on how the flow of the show is going. Anyways, Aaron, I appreciate you tuning in, by the way. Let's see. Let's see. Phil says, imagine failing, getting $20 million to stop failing, then winning a national championship ring. Muschamp failed up. Yeah, it is pretty crazy, man. Keith in the TDC Questions channel says, we always seem to lose ugly. We really do. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Phil, I do not know who replaces Tanner at AD if he's gone. Coach Ford says this, who would you think we'd get to replace Frank that's a better hire? South Carolina is a tough recruiting gig. If Georgia, Clemson, Georgia Tech, NC State were all rocking it, maybe it's the coach. The most steady non-blue blood school in this area is Auburn. Even Florida's waning away. Florida State and Bama are all over the place. Got to be willing to get nasty with the AAU women's basketball and softball are big down south. Men's basketball, not so much. Outside of the blue blood schools like North Carolina and Kentucky. Well, here's the thing, Coach Ford. Do I have a great answer for you who we should go hire? Not at the moment, no. But people said the same thing about the football job and you want to fire Muschamp? Well, who will you go get? You can't use that as an excuse. That's just a bad excuse. So if you want to make the move, you can't use that as an excuse, just in my opinion. So, again, I don't have the answer for you, maybe that you'd like, and I'm not telling you it's not hard to win at Carolina. But, again, nobody's expecting South Carolina to win, to go to the tournament every single year. I think 3 times per decade, 3 to 4 per decade would be awesome. Be great. So, Ben Smith, Bruce Pearl's a cheater. Auburn really shouldn't count. They deserve a postseason ban. Ben, I'd love to have a cheater as a coach then. I'll be honest with you. I'd love to be where Auburn is. You kidding me? Hey, cheat away, my friend. Cheat away. Everybody else is cheating. So why not? Get us a coach who's a cheater. There's no pride in it for me, man. Listen, I'm not best friends with the coach or know him on a personal level. I don't need my coaches and players to be outstanding citizens. I just want to win. Doesn't really matter to me. I mean, ideally, I would like them to be good people, but, for example, like an Urban Meyer, hey, guess what? Ohio State and Florida, they still won championships. They don't really give a damn. So, I mean, I'd love to have a cheater like Bruce Pearl's my head coach. I'll be down with that. Sorry. Courtney Washington says, Chris, if we make a change, I think we need to go the pro route like the girls. I'm down with that. Just hire the best available option if you can. Just hire the best available option. That's what I say. Rebecca, I don't think South Carolina's played Tennessee yet in women's basketball. I don't think we have. I don't think quite yet. Tyrell C. Hell, I wouldn't mind a recruiting scandal if that means we actually win. I hear you, man. I hear you. Confirmed winning is fun. Let's see. Coach Ford, football is a much easier gig for recruiting for South Carolina. Prep talent in state is better than basketball. Not asking you for a name, just asking the group for discussion. Georgia hired a tournament winner at Marquette. Green result here. Yeah, I mean, again, I understand what you're saying. I understand there's challenges, but again, it's about Coach Ford. It's you don't make us change. You don't make a change for the sake of making a change. But damn, like you kind of got to think about, okay, if we bring him back, like how are we going to sell tickets? How are we going to sell tickets? How are we going to put butts in the seats? So again, I'm not on the airwaves today, guys, saying fire Frank Martin. That's not where I sit today. Still a lot of ball to play. In this season. You can bounce back in a big way on Saturday. Got Florida at home. Should be a decent crowd. The football team will be honored at halftime. Should be a good crowd. But, if things start to spiral out of control, the chatter's only going to get louder. We all know that. The chatter's only going to get louder. The calls for Frank Martin's job are only going to get louder. And, I told you guys, and I stand by it. I told you guys before the season, hey, if you missed the NCAA tournament this year in year 10 and you've gone through a decade with one tournament appearance, I think the writing should be on the wall. I just think it'll be time. Again, it's not like, I don't think it's going to be a separation like anything like the Muschamp era, where it's like this vitriol and, get out, like we don't want you, whatever. I don't think there will be vitriol in that way, but it will be a situation where it's like, hey, Frank, we appreciate you for everything. Thank you for the Final Four. Thank you for, getting our basketball program back to some solid ground, if you will. But we need to go a different direction. We need to go a different direction. And you need to go a different direction because things aren't working out. So. Oh, let's see. P-Doc says we need those Joe Morrison steroids. Yeah. God, life was crazy in the 80s, wasn't it? Anyways, guys, quick reminder, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, episode 575. Great stuff. Obviously, a full recap and breakdown of what happened last night on Rocky Top. Also, I do a little bit of a deep dive in regards to the transfer portal and the new additions, especially on Christian Beal Smith and Antoine Wells Jr., two guys that I am really, really excited about. So be sure to check that out, guys. Again, really excited for the podcast dropping tomorrow, as well as I'll rank the 2022 schedule. I will rank the 2022 schedule from easiest game to toughest game. By the way, how about Shane Beamer being a real one? For too long, did we have the spring game scheduled the weekend of Masters Week? Shane Beamer pushing that back, legendary move. And I know Phil couldn't give a damn, but for those of us who like golf, legendary move. Legendary move by Coach Beamer. Coach Beamer wants to watch the golf too, man. He's like, hell yeah, hell yeah. By the way, actually, you know what I didn't think about? And they haven't released a time. I wonder if baseball's released a time. Who does baseball play that weekend? Let's see. Wow. Hey, Ole Miss at home that day. And that's game 3, too. Because that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against Ole Miss. That'll be the game 3 of the Ole Miss. So I would imagine the baseball will be probably like at 4 and the spring game be at noon or 1 o'clock. Ben Smith asked, the new interviews on Patreon. So, Ben, not yet. So the interviews are going to drop as they have before on the podcast, where, we've dropped the interviews with the Monday and the Thursday podcast. So that's when all, the new interviews will be dropping. That's when interviews are still going to drop. But great question, Ben. Tomorrow, the Parker White interview will drop on the Big Cock Club Patreon. So patreon.com/Big Cock Club, where you can sign up. The Parker White combo drops tomorrow. Fantastic stuff. We'll have clips on social media, but the full conversation, including video, by the way, will drop tomorrow. The Tori Gurley interview, Tori Gurley conversation, will drop on Monday. So, again, we're going to keep that Monday, Thursday schedule for the interviews. So, just to give you a heads up. William Korb, horrid day to be a beverage on the 16th of April in Columbia, South Carolina. Indeed, indeed. Is that really Easter weekend, the 16th? Is it really? Oh, it is. You're right. Well, whatever. I I'll be at the game. I'll be at the spring game, so whatever. It's all good. Okay, so that's why baseball doesn't play them on the 17th, because it's Easter. Gotcha. Brendan M. Brendan's upset with the Easter weekend schedule. Brendan's upset, apparently. Let's see. Phil with the Z's. Yeah, golf. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, let's just put it this way, though. Who knows what happens with Gamecocks basketball? Who knows? Truly, who knows? Anyways, like I said, guys, if you're in the city, be sure to come on out tonight to Tin Roof. 5 to 7 will be out there kind of kicking it, drinking some cold brewskis, taking your questions, having ourselves a night. By the way, I want to throw this out there in case you guys didn't realize. Tin Roof is anyone can come. You don't have to be 21. Anyone can come to Tin Roof up until 10 p.m. because technically Tin Roof is a restaurant. Okay? Tin Roof's a restaurant. So you don't have to be 21 to come out there. Just wanted to give you guys the heads up. By the way, we will be streaming Tin Roof. We'll have our live stream. That'll be behind the Big Cock Club Discord. So again, all those in the Big Cock Club, be sure to tune in, leave some questions. We'll have lighthearted conversation. If you want to tune into that live, you can't make it out in person, want to tune in live, again, go join the Big Cock Club Discord. Trip asks, how long is the Parker White interview? About 30 minutes. It was about a 30-minute conversation with Parker White. So we hit on all the high points in regards to his career, the game-winning field goals, and his journey to South Carolina, and, of course, Shane Beamer, the 2021 season, all that good stuff. So, Rebecca, how many days till football season? It's like 235, I think, something like that. So, John Gibbs, it says, again, for me, it's Frank's style that hurts this team. I'm no snowflake that can't handle someone or some coach yelling at me. But in today's sports, that doesn't work like in the old days. Bottom line is I think Frank's done regardless at this point. I hate it because he's a good person, but question mark. Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. Again, as I told you guys before earlier in the season, the question's never been, is Frank Martin a good basketball coach? Is Frank Martin no basketball? That was never the question. The question is, does his style, can players still flourish under him? Not play under him, flourish under him. Is his style good enough to be exciting, fun to watch, and good enough to get South Carolina to a tournament, let's just say 3 times a decade? And the numbers will say no. Is his style, is his style attractive enough to attract good players to play in it? And again, I don't like, I like this team this year. That's the worst part. I like this team this year. I do. I like this team. But it just, again, man, it just feels like the same old, dude. It's just, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Bottom line, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So. Let's see. Aaron Gibson says, if Frank's the answer, we need to change the question. I don't need to be able to sing to no bad music when I hear it. I love that. I love that, Aaron. I love that. I don't need to be able to sing to no bad music when I hear it. That's a good point. I love the way you phrase that. That is incredible. That's incredible. Dre Picasso says, I still remember when my cousin Seventh Woods played for us, but it didn't exactly go anywhere. That's your cousin, Dre, really? Seventh Woods is your cousin. Wow, small world. Wow, I didn't know. How about that? Seventh Woods' cousin in the chat. Mm-hmm. Again, guys, really excited for tonight, Tin Roof. By the way, here's a random thought I just had. Do you guys remember in Spurrier's first couple of years when they used to make the DVDs of the season? Do you think they'll do that? Not make a DVD, because I don't think DVDs are even a thing anymore. Do you think they'll do that? They'll like make a video for Shane Beamer's first season. Do you think they'll do that? I just wonder, I don't know. Drape and Costas. I found out in 2018, and it shocked me. Never met him, but yeah, he's my cousin. How about that? Sometimes you just never know, my guy. You just never know. Again, guys, I'd love to have you call in 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Yeah, if you still want that DVD, by the way, there's a place in Columbia, West Columbia, that's like an antique mall that has that stuff. I actually saw it. So, anyways, Travis says, is Dozier and Thornwell still playing? Yeah, Thornwell's in Germany. I think Dozier's in the NBA still. I'm pretty positive, but Thornwell is in Germany. Thornwell's an interesting cat, man. From what I know, I mean, I don't know the guy. I've tried to get him on the show and to know success, but he seems like an interesting human being, for sure. Seems like a very interesting human being. All right, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Luke RJ.
to accept, press.
Luke RJ, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. What's up, Chris?
Dude, what's up, man? Just hanging out. What's going on?
Man, I tell you what, you got some interesting callers on your show.
I do, man. We have some fantastic callers, and it's always a blast. You never know what you're going to get. That's for sure.
Yeah, so about Frank Martin and last night and everything, I just remember the NIT championships, the back-to-back NIT tournament championships, and how, much fun that was to watch. No, I don't think anybody, I don't even remember who the coach was, but nobody was calling for that coach's head.
Dave Odom. Dave
we're not
Odom was the
even
coach
making
you're
that.
referring to. Dave Odom, by the way. Continue.
Yeah. Nobody was, upset about the season, but Frank, he's not even getting into the NIT, man. I mean, it's no postseason play. If you're not going to make the tournament, you at least got to, make the NIT. And I mean, it sounds like a very non-basketball thing to say, like for the school, just to get to the NIT. But that I think that means something.
Bro, I would love to get to the NIT at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're playing some sort of postseason basketball. At least.
Yeah, who were some players on that team that you remember that? I mean, those games were so much fun to watch.
Torrance Kinsey, Trey Wallace, Carlos Powell, Ronaldo Balkman. Balkman's probably my favorite Gamecock basketball player of all time. Zam Frederick. Some great players. There were some great players on those teams.
Carlos Powell was probably my favorite.
Powell was a monster. Powell was a monster.
Yeah, so the other thing I was thinking about, the Devin Downey years were probably some really, really fun years too, man. Just watching those games, and in any night he could drop like 30 points and just go off. Whether we won or lost or whatever, he put on a show every single night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Remember that?
I do.
And so, I mean, you just got to have it, at least like one player that's gonna
take over the game or somebody. You got to have somebody. And it's just, I remember those Devin Downey years, and that old video he had with like the music and everything. Do you know what I'm talking about? That video he had on his like website or something.
I don't know if I remember that, but I mean those were very interesting times. So no, Devin Downey was a freak, man. That was, again, those were fun times for sure.
Yeah, and yesterday I was drinking beer and had you on the 60-inch TV watching Behind the Beat episodes. Man, those things are awesome.
Yeah, those will be coming back. Those will be coming back for sure. Yeah, I love making those, man, the vlogs and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to start firing them up probably this weekend again, or this week, if you will. So, yeah, it's just been so busy over the holiday season and getting going in the new year. But the GoPro will be back out in the wild. It will be back out in the wild starting very soon. Very soon. I'll put it that way. Very soon. So.
Yeah, I think I was just drinking beer, watching you go to all the South Carolina sports games and stuff, man. That's cool watching you do that. I don't know if they get a lot of views or if it's very successful, but that watching that was just enjoyable to see.
It's cool, man.
Going to the baseball games and going to Willie B and drinking with everybody at the tailgate. And if anybody listening hadn't seen that, you should definitely go check it out on his YouTube channel, the TSUS YouTube channel. Those things are fun to watch.
Yeah, and there's actually probably two that you haven't seen that I am going to. We had those for a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna make these available. We had these behind the big Cock Club wall, but I decided instead to put the interviews. So the Behind the Beak stuff is going to be for the masses. That's just something I want to, I want everybody to enjoy. So yeah, if you go on there later today, you'll see two more videos actually added. So yeah, no, those are fun, man. Like I said, we make a lot of content as is for sure, but I love that content, man. It just kind of shows the behind the scenes stuff and all the fun that we get to have, all the fun that I get to have with going to games and meeting people. And it's a really good time, man. So I appreciate you tuning into it. Like I said, it's going to return. I'm definitely going to be shooting some video later this week and this weekend, going to the basketball game. And yeah, Behind the Beak's going to get fired back up. I can assure you, for everybody tuned in.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you checking that out, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so I like what you say at the end of one of them. Show gratitude and have respect. I mean, there's some good life lessons, some things that you say on there that are really cool, and I just think it's pretty nice how you treat everybody really cool, and you don't really like make fun of them or whatever they got to say. Like, you're just open and you're nice to everybody. And I thought that was really cool too.
I appreciate that, man. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I believe in leading with gratitude and yeah, I mean, absolutely, man. I believe in the golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated. So, but yeah, no, like I said, I appreciate you checking that out, man. The Behind the Beak stuff, it's really cool. So it's a blast. I mean, we I have a ton of fun making those, and yeah, those are certainly going to be back in 2022, bigger and better too, bigger and better. That's the plan.
Nice. And I noticed that you literally like walk everywhere you like go. When you go to the Williams-Brice, you're walking there, or you going to Founders Park, you're walking. I guess that's how you like.
I live close.
Weight or something.
I live close. So I drive to the basketball games, but yeah, I mean, I live close. So I'm right in the middle of the action, man. I'm right in the middle of the action. So.
All right, that's cool, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think Frank. I don't know if he's gonna be back next year. People really wanted him gone after last year, and they gave him a pass, I think, because of COVID. I just remember a lot of people saying, he had COVID twice and lost his hair and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, You know, it's going to be – hey, there's going to have to be decisions made for sure. Luke, I appreciate the call, man. Sincerely, thank you for the support. And obviously, you ever need anything, you got my line on you. But no, I appreciate the love and support, man. We'll talk soon, all right?
All right, later.
Yeah, later, man. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Guys, going to jump into one final break. So save your calls, 843-790-3377. Want to continue to hear from you on the other side, more your questions, your comments, your calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, we are back. Final 10 minutes or so here on a Wednesday, January the 12th, 2022. Taking your questions, comments, calls in this final segment. Want to hear from you guys. Let's see. Phil says, love Devin Downey. Yeah, Devin Downey's a beast, man. All-timer. All-timer, no question. All-timer, no question. Moco Dream says, could the Gamecocks compete in the East after this offseason in 2022? Well, it depends on what your definition, Moco, of compete is. Win the East? No. The East is Georgia's. The East is Georgia's. You're not there yet. Let's jump to the phone lines.
Call from
Rebecca Standridge.
Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
Doing pretty good. We had some people complaining about me the other day, about me sounding like I'm drunk or something like that.
Were they?
Yeah, on here on the chat, and I want to clarify something. If any of the ones that made a comment about it.
Go ahead.
I am on some heavy medications, and when I wake up around 12 or 1 o'clock, I don't mean to sound like I'm drunk. It's just the medications that I'm on.
Gotcha.
And I know I sound like I am, but I'm not. I promise you on that one.
Hey, Rebecca, I say this. I don't think you should have to explain yourself to anybody. So, yeah, I don't think you should have to explain yourself to anybody. You're good in my book. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's somebody was doing that the other day, and I was like, I just woke up, and, I'm not fully awake.
Hey, I got you. I understand. Trust me, I understand.
But anyway, what do you think about the game?
The one last night?
Against, Georgia and Alabama.
Oh, I thought that was a heck of a game. And, I picked Georgia before the game to win. And, I hated seeing them win. But, honestly, I thought it was a great game. It was a lot of fun to watch, very entertaining. So I think it was the two best teams in college football. And listen, Georgia was due. Georgia was due for the last 42 years. So, as Coach Lawing told us, it's hard to beat somebody twice. It's just hard to beat a team twice.
I was really surprised how it come out like it did. Because Georgia didn't start out good, and then they come back in the half.
Yeah. No, yeah. It was a crazy game. For a while there, you felt like Georgia was gonna Georgia and blow it, and sure enough, they found a way to get it done. So I thought it was an incredible game. I had a blast watching it. Honestly, I was, for it to be a game that South Carolina was not playing in, I was very, very into it, very engaged. So.
Yeah, my mom's neighbor that she used to be next to, she is a big Georgia fan up here in Tennessee, and so is one of my other friends is a Georgia fan. So they're so happy it's you wouldn't believe.
Oh, I bet. No, I bet for sure. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like I said, it was a little bit sad because the end of college football season, but, a fantastic game tonight. Rebecca, like I said earlier, you got nobody to explain yourself to. You're good with me. I appreciate you calling in. Never hesitate to call in. I truly do appreciate it.
I was going to tell you something else if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, am I the only person in Tennessee that is a Gamecock fan that calls into this show?
That calls into the show, yes. I believe so. I could be wrong, but I as far as I know, yes. So.
I was curious about that myself.
Yeah. If there is another If there is another, have them speak up. But none have spoken
Right.
up. So none have spoken up. So you might just be by yourself up there holding it down for us. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a Gamecock group that I'm on, and I'm the only one from Tennessee about it, and they love me half to death on that Gamecock group.
There you go.
So I thought I'd just ask you that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think that's a great point for sure. Great point for sure. Rebecca, I appreciate you. We're gonna close up here, but seriously, call at any time. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, you
All right.
too.
Take care. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. The phone lines are a blessing that just keeps on keeping on and keep on giving. And we will not stand. Listen. If you don't like someone calling in, then you call in and take up the time that they call in. But we will not slander the good name of the callers of this show. I can tell you that right now. So this is turning into like the South Carolina specifically version of Feinbaum, I feel like. Like the callers are the personalities on this show, which is beautiful. Let's see. Anyways, guys, we just got 2 minutes or so. Again, come out to 10 Root tonight. If you're in the city, seriously, it's a great time. Great time. $3 drafts, $3 rumple. I mean, I can guarantee you per sources, cervezas will be consumed per sources. No, going to be a really good time, though. $3 draft, $3 rumple, fantastic food, great people, going to be great conversation. One last call. He snuck it in.
Call from
Connor Harmon.
Connor, you just beat the clock, my guy. What's going on? Appreciate you calling in.
Hey, man, nothing much. Just wanted to call in, kind of give a take of what I think Gamecock basketball could do to be a little bit better on the offensive side. You know, just watching them the past couple of games, especially against Vanderbilt, how sloppy it's been. I think we need a point guard to step up and be the kind of facilitator, you know. James Reese, I think he can be that guy. I just think that there's too many guards that just crowded back there in the backcourt for them to really pick out just a pure facilitator to get open shots for everybody else, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. You got to have that leader for sure. We've it's all about guard play in college basketball, and we've had some nice pieces, but we haven't had that dude. I agree. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. And you know, honestly, that's kind of what I was hoping from Keyshawn Bryant this year, because Keyshawn, I never thought he was the best shooter. He's a great slasher to the basket, but you know, just watching him play, he hasn't been very productive on the offensive end. I think the attention that he commands from other defense because of his name and who he is, if he were to start picking up, slashing the basket, and getting open shooters, that would help our shooting percentage out a lot. And we're going to need that if we're going to compete in the SEC with these other high-powered offenses, because this sloppy ball, it'll work against teams like Vanderbilt, teams that are kind of inferior to us, I guess, because Frank Martin, the one thing that he has working for him is, well, he's a kind of grinded out defensive-minded kind of coach. So sometimes sloppy games can help us, but we're going to need that pure facilitator to get us open shooters. It doesn't have to be multiple guys. Really, just can just be one guy to just get open shots so our shooting numbers can go up. We compete in these offensive-powered games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Dude, I agree. I think that's well said. You know your stuff, obviously. No, that's well said for sure, man. I mean, again, adjustments have got to be made, but no, I think fantastic analysis on your part. We'll see if they can do it. Again, you got a great chance to bounce back on Saturday. You want to look at it on a positive. Getting back to 500. You were expected to lose to Tennessee. Call it for what it is. Even no matter how ugly, you were expected to lose. Got to protect your home floor. Got to protect your home floor. Got to find a way.
No doubt, man. Appreciate your time.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for the call. Really, really good stuff. Great call to end on. Awesome. Thank you so much for that call. And again, on that note, we'll get out of here because it is 2:00. Guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you so much to all those who call in, leave your comments, all that good stuff, engaging with the show. And also, guys, thank you for your love and support in regards to the content, the business, everything that we do. Again, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. All of our content as well, rocking and rolling content, bleeding out the eyeballs. Again, folks, 10 Roof tonight, 5 to 7. Be sure to come on out. If you want to tune in digitally, you can on the Big Cock Club Discord. Join that today as well. Guys, until tomorrow, hey, appreciate y'all. Come on out to 10 Roof. Have yourself a cold beer. Kick your feet up. Let's relax on a Wednesday. Either way, have a great rest of your Wednesday, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow.